Hey guys, JanetOnOccasion, and playing another Total War Warhammer Battle Replay. As you can see, I'm the Empire here. I brought Karl Franz, the Emperor himself, fighting against the Dwarfs. I don't know what happened with his alliance, but it's gone pretty badly. As you can see, we're in Dwarfen territory. You can see by the architecture there. And so let's take a look at my army. So, first up, right in the front, I have a couple of handgunners. Great armor piercing, great killing dwarfs. No shields or anything, very, very susceptible to quarrel fire. So that's a bit scary. But behind them, I've got another load of greatswords, a whole ton. I've got them in really thin lines in case of, you know, artillery. So should help me stay alive a little bit longer. And to help me stay alive even longer, I've got a Jade Wizard. I've gone with a horrible cheesy thing here. I've brought Dwellers Below. I know, I'm sorry, but I can't help it right now. It's in the game and I want to use it. I mean, I don't use Net of Ammontok because that's just so cheesy. But Dwellers Below, you know, it's expensive and it means I can't heal, so eh. Anyway, also, I've got these two mortars. So here I thought, I'll put them behind the rock. Brilliant. If they got artillery, I'll be completely safe. But he actually went over there. But anyway, as well as these two mortars, I also have Sterling's Revenge that I vanguarded. But unfortunately, he went over here, so they have to run a long way. But they stalk, so he can't see them, which is good. And they got armor piercing, because it's Sterling's Revenge, not the usual free company. So that'll help again against the dwarves. So it should be good fun. So, yeah, let's see what he's got. So immediately you can see from this Groby flying through the air that, yeah, he has the Gobblobber, which is very dangerous. You know, that leadership damage it does, and it's very accurate. It's a very scary unit to be strolling up against. Also, he's got some cannon, and he's got the gyrocopters with brimstone guns, which I don't have a lot of large units. I've got my Lord, but other than that, not really. So shouldn't be too tough. Really, he'd want to save that up for his bombs at least, and then you know, when Karl lands, he can shoot into him, which would be great. So, front line, miners with blasting charges, dwarf warriors, Ekrand miners, so they have even more blasting charges, dwarf warriors, and miners blasting charges. So, some cheap units in the front, but also with some armor piercing in there, which is really useful. And the blasting charges are useful as well. Also, he's got the Longbeards in the back. Both are great weapons. These match up brilliantly against great swords, actually. Yeah, I need to try that out. Against the Empire, just bring a lot of Longbeards with great weapons, see how they fare, because they seem to match up very well. Also, the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass, just great anti-infantry units here. He's also got some Rangers in the back with a few chevrons, so that's pretty cool. They're being helped out by Master Engineer, so they can get more value out of them, and also, you know, the sniping that Master Engineer isn't too bad, though he's usually obstructed, which is a bit of a shame. And, of course, he's got the Dragonback Slayers, because why wouldn't you? Also, he's got a Rune Lord, who's over here for some reason. Not really sure why. But that's fine. So, let's speed things up. So, first off, you can see my mortars are screwed. They just don't have the leadership to get hit by the Gobblobber. They got 47 leadership. Actually, that's gone down a little bit. But yeah, they don't have much leadership. So they take a bit of damage from the Gobblobber. They're going to run away. So I'm trying to get them behind the rock, but it's got a good arc. And these guys don't move very quickly. So it's not looking great. At least I got the other mortar firing. So I'm trying to hit the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass or the Longbeards or one of these guys, I can't remember. Yeah, Warriors of Dragonfire Pass I think I'm aiming for. But they're not hitting very well at the moment. So here I got my handgunners on the gyrocopter, because I want to take that out nice and early, so Franz doesn't have to worry about it. I accidentally sent my Jade Wizard forward, so I bring him back. But you can see, you know, the Rangers are now on my handgunners and all sorts. So although I'm doing a lot of damage to these gyrocopters, I'm losing a lot of guys here. I mean, look at that. That's pretty bad. So you'll see I do pull them back. I will charge in a second. So here, Sterling's Revenge are coming in on the side. My second mortar is about to run away. I'll bring these guys back onto these, but the mortars are not helping me here. Which is a real shame, even with this big rock, which I thought would be a great blessing. No, because he went for the hill, didn't he? Of course he did. So that's a shame. So start charging up. You can see, you know, the artillery is going for the handgunners now. Or is he aiming for the great swords with the cannon? I think he might be aiming for the great swords. So the Rangers will actually do pretty well here. They don't have very good armor piercing or anything, but without the shields, they will, you know, have their health chiseled away. So I've got Franz flying around, you know, probing the area. But I'm not entirely sure what to do here. So you see, I do get the handgunners back up here for this gyrocopter. Now they're sort of, you know, in the back line, and the great swords are now more important for him to fight. I also bring Sterling's Revenge. They've just been spotted, but I should be able to do some work to these gyrocopters. You'll see I will send Franz over here to attack them. I just wanted to sort of, you know, make them run a bit, and if they didn't, just destroy one really quickly. But unfortunately, that doesn't really go to plan. You'll see, I end up chasing him for quite a ways, which I really didn't mean to do. But you can see here, these blasting charges are actually doing some pretty good work against these greatswords. So this is pretty scary. And you know, the Ekron ones, they're managing to throw many of them. So I get an Earthblood on these two, try and keep them in the fight longer, because I don't think they've lost too many models. Yeah, a few. But still, I want to get the ones I do have left healthy. But look at this charge, it is weak. This is a bad charge. Very bad charge. Okay, so here you can see, this is where I sent in Karl to try and, try and wipe these guys out, but I didn't really need him. And unfortunately, because they fly right overhead, it makes it difficult for these guys to shoot them, so they actually get away and end up having Franz chase them for ages. It was very stupid. So here you can see sending the Slayers around the back, try and get into my ranged contingent. So here I use a regrowth on these great swords because they're very damaged. Haven't lost a huge amount of models though. So if I can get the health up and give them some physical resist against these dwarf warriors, that will help. But you can see my front line is definitely straining under pressure. So here I use Dwellers below, and I've also got some Mortar Fire coming in here to try and finish them off. You can see the Rangers completely wiped out by Stone's Revenge, but now the Dragonback Slayers have reached them. I'm trying to shoot into them, but it's not going well. So finally bring back Karl. I really needed his buffs in the front line for his melee defense and things. That was sloppy of me. Very sloppy. You don't want your general wandering off like that. Also, my other handgunners, they've had it. But I do have a mortar online again, so that's good. So, yep, he's continuing to shoot into this line to try and help break them. And now I have 2 spare units of greatswords that can run through. Also, these guys are breaking, so I'll have these guys spare. So this flank has really let him down, but a lot of that was Dwellers below being OP and killing everything for me. So that's fine. Also, though, my handgunners have been torn up by these Dragonback Slayers, and I'm trying to chase them with these greatswords because, I did have some spares. But you can see this side is not going well. These 1 unit of greatswords are fighting against, what, like 3 units? This one against 2. Well, actually, these guys are joined in, but still, they have their Lord in here, and both of these guys are dishevelled as hell. So I'll try to shut down his Rangers for a little bit, but you'll see he'll try and get his cannon on Franz. But, I am taking out his Goblobber with my greatswords, and, I've got nice opportunity to rear charge in here. Like he's trying to do. He's getting his Lord on my Jade Wizard, fair enough. So I do see that, try and run him away. Unfortunately, with the Dragonback Slayers and everything in there, that's a really bad place for the Jade Wizard to be in. So that's a bit scary. So yeah, you can see the Rangers keep repositioning, and so do the Cannons. They keep trying to go for Franz, but I'm making it awkward for him. I keep changing my mind where he is. I don't keep him in place for too long. Because, I don't want to get bogged down, and I don't want these guys to be able to, be firing the whole time. Because if they miss Franz, they're going to hit my own guys anyway. So, I don't want him doing that. So, these greatswords still holding out, somehow. So, things are looking a bit, well, I don't know where they're looking, to be honest. It could go either way at this point. Because I do have a lot of greatswords left, but also I have a lot of very damaged units. And you'll see Franz is actually taking a lot of damage from this bloody cannon. So, so you'll see. I leave, these dishevelled greatswords to deal with the rest of the dwarf warriors. Unfortunately, though, they now have better reload skill. That's unusual. But Master Rune of Oath and Steel also comes down, so that's really useful. So yeah, it's from the Rune Lord, which is really good. So here I try and shut down the cannon for a bit. Luckily, these miners have finally had enough, but the Longbeards are great weapons still fighting, and they do pretty good work against greatswords. So again, these guys have had to turn around, so it's time they're not spent shooting. So I really like that actually about having a Flying Lord, although he's a great target for people, as long as you keep going from one side of the line to the other. All their artillery and ranged units keep having to reposition in order to get shots off. So they can't be shooting anything else valuable, which is great. So it makes it really useful. You see he's got a lot of guys in the back line here. He starts to bring them in, try and help out, because as you can see things aren't going his way in the front line anymore. Well, saying that, look at the leadership across the board. It could go either way still. Because at the moment, a Rune Lord and a Master Engineer against 14 Greatswords. That's not great. But they're tied up, and Franz isn't. So I'm able to send Franz around to help people out. So finally scared off all these Rangers, so that's great. These guys finally broke. Only 23 men left here. So I did bring these Greatswords in to try and help take out these guys, but I didn't need to in the end. But you can see his front line are shattered. But he's got a load of, other guys hanging out at the back that he's now starting to bring back in. And, I mean, when you look at each side, I don't have a whole lot more than he does here. Luckily, though, I've got my 16 handgunners helping to take out this Rune Lord. But the Greatswords will actually do really well against the Rune Lord. The Rune Lord does not want to be there. That is not a great spot for him. And once again, I managed to pull out my Jade Wizard, so that's good. Using Arcane Conduit, try and get some win some magic in, but at the moment the pool is pretty much empty. So it's not great. Here though, he gets on the Goblobber, so I send Sterling's Revenge on him. Sterling's Revenge, you know, I like being able to shoot them with my armor-piercing missiles, but I just need to stop them. So I was happy to throw them in there. And there we go, everything shatters. So it's a hell of a close match. If we look at the, you know, the sort of post screen here, you'll see, you know, none of us left with more than 200 men. We were both very, very hurt by this. It was definitely Pyrrhic. I have almost no great swords left. One unit did fairly well, but the others are all completely ruined. I took serious damage here. Stern's Revenge got absolutely knackered. They completely destroyed me in the artillery fight here. Yeah, the artillery, there's just one. That Goblobber being able to scare off my mortars constantly, it meant I couldn't really get any value out of these guys. I mean, 0 kills, might have done a bit of damage to, you know, a unit or two, but didn't kill anything. I mean, I don't really use mortars to get kills, I use them to whittle the health down, you know, off big groups of units. They're very good for that. And they can still shoot when you're engaged, which is good because that arc. And also, it lowers morale, which I think is the best thing they do. You know, just being attacked by artillery. I think it's 16 leadership you lose for being attacked by artillery. It's very scary having mortars landing on you. So I find them really useful for helping destroy the front line. But still, you know, not a lot of value out of them because, yeah, they shut me down with the Goblobbers. And you can see, look, 77 kills. Not bad. Not bad, so he was attacking, you know, artillery, really. But, so I think he got his value out of them. So, pretty cool. He also scared off handgunners and all sorts. It was very useful for him. But you can see the Slayers. I didn't bring any cavalry because I didn't want to bring cavalry against the dwarves because they always just bring, you know, heavy infantry and then they have to bring counters for cavalry, which is always Slayers. And so I wanted them to waste his Slayers somewhat, just fighting like greatswords. But of course he just went around my greatswords and butchered all of my ranged units, which was not very good for me. 120 kills. That's pretty damn good. Also, he would have done some damage to my Jade Wizard. Unfortunately, he never got on Karl Franz. I kept Franz away from him. So that's good. So they did eventually get wiped out by greatswords, but they did a good job. They shut down a lot of, you know, pesky ranged units that I could have kept shooting for, you know, for days if I needed to. So yeah, pretty scary. So yeah, they did very well. You know, his Lord got a few kills. His Master Engineer got a lot more kills than I expected. You know, while buffing up his Rangers, who all did fairly well. You know, they shut down my handgunners and things. These guys a lot cheaper than handgunners, so, you know, it went pretty well. Also, the cannon, 49 kills. You know, did a lot of damage to my handgunners again, and also, basically all of the health Franz lost was because of that cannon. So, it was pretty formidable. Pretty formidable. So yeah, a lot of useful stuff here. But yeah, the Longbeards, great weapons, I think do really well. This unit, I think, was the one that got Dwellers belowed. But this one was the one that was fighting on the on my left flank for ages and just cleaned up. So yeah, pretty good Longbeards. Yeah, but yeah, my greatswords obviously performed well because, you know, they can butcher dwarves all day. But yeah, it went pretty well. Very close though, very close. It could have gone either way, honestly. So yeah, really fun game. So woof, innocent pug. Yeah, well played, mate. And yeah, hopefully see you again on ladder soon. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please do comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good time, guys.